Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. P.O. Coulter in the house, Tasha T. Sizzle in front of the curtain in the house, camouflaged and ready for war. How you doing this morning, beautiful?
I'm good. I am a little sleepy. I didn't go to bed till 2 o'clock last night. Yeah, we was running the streets last night. Uh,
Nice.
and then I had to get up this morning and take my new little surprise to the vet, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. And I also purchased breakfast for the veterinary clinic, the ones who assisted me with Bella transitioning and with Castor Troy transitioning. So I bought them breakfast this morning. So I had to get up and go get the breakfast and deliver it, then come back, get the other surprise, take it. Yeah, your girl's tired.
Well, we do appreciate you jumping on this morning, and make sure you know I'm team nap, especially on a Saturday. So make sure you get your nap in. Good morning, big boy. Good morning, Goon Squad. Good morning, everyone. All right, so let's get to it, Tasha T. Sizzle. 127 million people tuned in last Sunday to watch the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely dog walk the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. It was the most watched Super Bowl of all time. Now, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was equally impressive, if not more. A record 133 million people tuned in to watch Kendrick Lamar offer his halftime performance down in New Orleans. And Tasha, if I had to guess, I'd say 99.9% of the people who viewed had a strong reaction to his performance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I have not gotten T Sizzle's thoughts on this show until right now. So, Tasha, the floor is yours.
Like I said, overall, I said I gave it a 6 earlier, but I actually went back and watched it again because I was at a Super Bowl party. And you guys know how it is when you're at a Super Bowl party, you really don't get to pay attention, to the game or to the halftime show as you would want to. But I gave it like a 6 as far as normally when you doing a halftime show, you want it to be purely entertaining. And even though I vibed with it, Prince is always going to be my number one. I gave it a 6, but for what he was trying to do, it was 10s all across the board. I found myself going back and I've watched it at least 3 times. People say, oh, political. Yeah. We're in a very messed up time when it comes to politics. But I loved everything that he stood for and that he symbolized during this halftime show. I loved it. And I knew the songs. A lot of people aren't really familiar because he's not commercial. Drake is more commercial. And we're always sitting up here lying if we talking about Drake don't put them hits out. Drake put them hits out. I still listen to Drake, but I kind of put it to the Jay-Z and the Nas effect. Nas is deep. Nas is one of my favorite rappers. So I tend to vibe more with Kendrick because Kendrick is more deep. But of course, when Drake come on, your girl is dancing.
Hey, what did you do back last summer with the Michelle Obama?
So, they're still making memes with Kendrick. Drake put out a new album. I did listen to some of it. Sasha said that it was fire. I didn't listen to it in its entirety, but I did. It's your typical Drake. It just is what it is. You got some beats, you got some bangers on there, but yeah, I was entertained. Put it that way with the halftime show.
Okay, very very strong opening to the show. Good morning, hello, good morning, Denise. Now, if you've been watching the show, it's no secret that I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan, just as an artist, just as a fan. And that I had lobbied for someone else to be on the show, even before we saw the halftime show. That was just it. I was a bit thrown off by your commentary there because I thought that you would give it a 10. So good morning. Hey, what's going on, my man? Haven't seen you in ages. Glad to have you on board this morning. Make sure you chime in with your thoughts. Okay, the 6th. Now, here's my first question to you. Is this one now live in more infamy than 2004 when Janet exposed her breast on national TV?
You ain't gonna never be no live titty.
Look, as AP culture checks in, she gets a live titty alert.
I mean, because you go back, you think about. I mean, I wasn't at a Super Bowl party, but I was at a friend's house watching that.
Yeah, me
and
as
it
well.
was literally when it happened, we were all like, "Is that her titty?" Like that's literally what. I mean, we were speechless, just like kind of the crowd was. We were like, "So
right.
you know, nudity's gonna always win out."
Right. Because I was thinking of another scenario where the halftime show was a bigger talking point than the game itself, and that one immediately came to mind. Now he says he should have brought out Janet, and that would have been more iconic. Like that would have been the ultimate troll job. I agree with you there. Like that would have been the ultimate troll job. And speaking of trolling jobs, was I the only person that thought that Serena Williams, when she came out of Crip Walk, that she was trolling the people who dogged her at the Olympics for doing it?
Thank you. That is okay. I guess I was like a guest on another podcast. I'm gonna mention the guys later because I want to give them a huge shout out.
Yes.
And I said that. Of course, she was being petty because of the Drake thing, but also SZA had a little tryst with Drake as well. But nobody's
body count is elite.
Right. Nobody's pulling that up. But yeah, it was partially the Drake thing because Drake actually came for her. So I don't mind her crip walking in that song, but that's what I said. When she did that at the Olympics on the hallowed grounds of Wimbledon, when she beat Maria Sharapova for the gold medal. People talk so bad about her when she crip walked.
Wait a minute. We got some pushback. He says that Olympic excuse was convenient.
See, that's what everyone is saying. I never said that it wasn't, Drake, you see me. I never said that. But that had a lot to do with it as well because of the hatred and the vitriol that she received from doing the crip walk. His whole entire halftime show was a message to, I'm sticking it, I'm gonna keep it PC. I'm sticking it to you. The same with the symbolism of having Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, basically being the Uncle Tom, being Stevens as he was in Django, one of our favorite movies. So you could take it either way with that. Yeah, she was doing this because I'm a crip walk on the hatred that I got from that, and I'm a crip walk because this pulled my name out and tried to put some bars about me in the song.
Okay, then why wasn't she crip walking in the music video?
Because at that time, that video was strictly about Say Drake.
Okay.
At that time. But if you listen to that entire song, if you take out the part about Drake, listen to the lyrics of that song. He's rapping about they not like us. He did not once say he ain't like us.
Okay.
It's a collective.
Okay, fair enough. And I wanted to specifically wait until today to get your thoughts on it so it could be organic. And I'm glad I didn't get to hear your thoughts earlier, which we'll get to that in the shout out portion. The Tasha T. Sizzle has been quite busy in making the Extra Point brand very proud. I'm very, very proud of her. Very proud. Let me ask you this. Are K-Dot fans the new Bey-Hive? Because y'all are starting to annoy me.
I mean, I can't really say that, but you know how the needle moves. Whoever's hot, that's who people are with. It's just that simple. Like, did he end Drake? No. You can't.
Well, your dog said no. Big boy said no.
Y'all don't understand the amount of people that just walk up over here when I'm trying to work, and that is what is happening in Big Boy Bars.
No, that's fine. I'll take it from here if you want to clear that out. The reason why I asked our K-Dot fans the new Bey-Hive is for one simple reason. First, if you didn't like Kendrick Lamar's show for political reasons, if it offended you for political reasons, I'm going to have to tell you like the current administration is telling the other side. Toughen up, Buttercup. This is a war right now. And if you didn't like his show because you didn't like the political message, then we have nothing else to talk about because there's no changing your mind on either side. That aside, as far as the hip hop community, though, just sticking within the realm of the culture, the people who came online and said that they didn't enjoy the show were eviscerated by Kendrick Lamar fans. If you said I didn't find it entertaining, just click on the replies. They called you everything but a child of God in that regard. And my question to you is, Tasha, why such the visceral reaction for the black people who didn't find it entertaining.
I mean, I think it's because of the message that he was trying to put out. And you know how it is. If you're not down, if you're not all the way pro-black, you're not like us.
Right.
Okay. That is what they're trying to say. But again, was it a Prince? Was it a Michael Jackson? Was it a Katy Perry style? Was it Beyonce's Christmas? And you guys know I'm not a Beyonce fan. Like, right. I'm not going to just be clamoring for Beyonce. I love everything she's accomplished, but I'm just not like a Beyonce fan. That Christmas halftime show shut everything down.
Yeah, it was crisp. It was very crisp.
It was pristine. Like, that's something that you would expect at a halftime show. But again, his symbolism outweighs anything, all the dancing. And I mean, they were dancing. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, as far as if you're saying, when I gave it a 6, it was compared to other halftime shows.
No, but I think that proves my point that if you said it was a 6, we have to provide a caveat so that you don't get stoned like we're in the Old Testament. Now, AP Coulter agrees with the assessment. She says, I believe that too. He was dissing how the USA clown / hurts us, especially our greatest. Plus, Kendrick got 2 bites of the apple with Serena. Double entendre there. I like what you did there, AP Coulter. I totally agree. Very well articulated on that point. Look, my thing is, look, K-Dot fans, y'all the new Bey-Hive to me, because now it's becoming tribal and abusive and bullying, in my opinion. Like, I wanted to wait until this platform to give my synopsis of the show. I agree. I give it a 6. I agree with the message. And if you didn't find the show entertaining, it does not mean that you don't agree with the message. The scenario that comes to mind to me, Tasha, let's say I'm having a bachelor party. And if I'm having a bachelor party, you are invited. Like, you're going to be there with the road dogs. So let's say we're in Vegas. We're at a strip club and we're vibing and we're dancing, we're drinking, we got our gummies, we're doing whatever. And then I turn the conversation political for the whole night. That's going to be kind of a buzzkill when you came to celebrate something, you know. So I understand why people may have been like, I didn't want to see that for the Super Bowl. And I don't think that still means that you're MAGA within the culture. You know, I just think that maybe there should be a little more balance there. He says, I didn't watch the halftime show for a political stance and symbolism. I watched to be entertained. It was okay. That's a large contingent of the hip hop community's thoughts right there.
When Bruno Mars got out there and Beyonce was a special guest and they were all in black, that was political. Nobody said a damn thing.
It was, you know,
she got out there and she put up the black power fist.
Now, I do remember her getting a little bit of blowback for that, but not to this extreme. And also, it was a different political climate at that time. It's a very, very touchy climate right now in this country. And it's just reminiscent of 2020. And for obvious reasons, we know why that is. Good morning, Mark Treese Hastings. AP checking back in. She says, I wasn't understanding what he was saying at first. Me either, AP. Some symbolism I got ASAP. But I liked it more after I read the words and watched it again. To Tasha's point, to open the show, Tasha said she had to go back and rewatch it, and it may have adjusted her initial rating of a 6. And that's Kendrick Lamar. Much like Nas, sometimes you have to go back and listen to Nas a second and third time to understand exactly what the meaning was in there. Now, Denise checking in. When you get a platform as big as that, though, that's the time you do it. When else you gonna do it?
Yeah. You got to do it when you know people are going to be watching. And again, no matter what anyone says, and that, you know, you had different camera angles and people were saying, oh, the crowd wasn't vibing. But when he said A minor, everybody in unison from every angle that I said, the ones who knew were A minor. Like, that resonates.
Now, I did enjoy the teasing of Not Like Us because of all of the backdrop behind shit he performing. Is they gonna get sued, or the NFL gonna step into this foolishness that is the lawsuit? Now, he says, to Beyonce's point, because it was still entertaining. Bruno Mars and Beyonce are 2 of the greatest entertainers of our generation.
So that you're going to be entertained because that's what they do. And I said for a long time, when Beyonce first came out, Beyonce was not a good singer. She developed into an entertainer, just like when there was the argument between Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. Christina Aguilera can sing several people into the ground.
Black or white.
Queen Brittany. Brittany can't sing, but she gonna hit you with that boom cat 5, 6, 7, 8.
You gonna have the python around the shoulder blades.
Right, with the snake. She gonna slay for you at the MTV awards. But that's the difference. But I think that's the point everyone is trying to make. When it's a halftime show, you want pure entertainment. And that's why everybody was like, oh, Lil Wayne and it's Cash Money, Juvenile, anybody, Master P. So what you're basically saying is every city that hosts the Super Bowl is supposed to have a homegrown talent there. Let it be in Nashville when they get this dome built and it's straight country. Then people gonna have something to say about that because they don't know the country music.
Right. Now, don't come for Nashville and country music. Then we turn into the Bey-Hive.
You know, I listen to all genres. You know, I got a collection of country hits in my Apple iTunes. But
right.
For the masses, but the thing is, what people fail to realize, there are more country music stations in the entire United States than there are any other radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So country resonates, but there are some of us that's going to be like, I ain't listening to this shit. Even when Beyonce is out here doing it, they're not listening to it.
Right. And to your point about Beyonce, there will be a large contingent of fans, namely the Bey-Hives, that will have a problem with her not being included in the country halftime show.
Exactly.
So there's really no winning them. Martrice says, love it or hate it, it was necessary in her opinion. Martrice, you don't even have to caveat it within your opinion, because this is you Goon Squad. You stand on business. Say, hey, love it or hate it, it was necessary. We can put a period right there, because we're never going to bash you for your opinion here, especially yours, Martrice. Love that. Now, she says everybody has 24 hours. What you going to do with yours? Be a bum or handle business? Okay. Now, I see where the lineage comes from, because I can hear a young Tasha T. Sissel saying that at Pearl-Cohn High School. Good morning, Melanie Taylor. Now, here's a boomer checking in. She says 70% of folks under 40 lost their minds on Not Like Us. Even doing his walk, I loved it. Shouts out to AP Culture. And she has the nimbleness of thought and the versatility to be able to be entertained while also preaching the message. This is something that I grew up in. We love music. We did stand on losing myself. Okay, I'm back. All right. Now, Jarrell Green checks in. Shouts out Sold on Sports. He says, every time Drake takes an L, I love it. How are you going to sue in a rap beef? Tupac rolling over in his grave.
Nope. You got Tupac, you got No Vaseline, you got Ether. Ain't nobody ever said, I'm going to sue you. I'll sue.
Touch me and I'll sue.
but when Kendrick said, hey, Drake, I was like,
Now I want to do a counter to this one, Soul on Sports. After No Vaseline, we went on to support Dr. Dre, Eazy-E. We went on to listen to his music. After Ether and Jay-Z lost that battle, we went on to support Jay-Z and Big Pimpin' and all of the stuff that he did after that. So in this situation, I mean, yeah, Kendrick Lamar won that battle. I mean, it was a landslide. It wasn't even close. He got knocked out on Not Like Us. That's just the rap beef. But I don't take a personal animus towards Drake going forward. I'm like, you lost the rap beef. Now come back and do some hot music and let's just keep it pushing. That's just the hip hop culture. Melanie says the performance was relevant to the times we are in, maximizing his platform. But Melanie, do you take offense with people who didn't want to see that at the halftime show? I think that goes back to the question of, hey, is this the new Bey-Hive, and are we being bullied? You know,
it's just like the fact that everybody kept talking about, oh, it should have been Wayne. Did y'all see the video? Somebody posted a video and they was like, oh, y'all talking about Wayne. This is what y'all would have got. He was on there smoking and mumbling at this whatever show this was he was doing, which of course I'm gonna listen to Weezy. I love Wayne too, but every city does not need to have a homegrown talent as the feature artist. He did not. So what he was now, the message that he was sending, where would Lil Wayne have fit in for that? I would have loved to see Big Freedia get out there and do something. Where would Big Freedia have fit in that message? Y'all wouldn't. But look, another thing. Why wasn't nobody talking about Michael Bublé wasn't playing? He's from New Orleans. Harry Connick Jr. Nobody was complaining about that, asking them. And people love Michael Bublé.
Yeah, it's to me, I would have liked to seen a mashup. I think you could have gotten the message across and then had a 2-minute feature with Big Freedia and her dancers dancing, or maybe Master P coming out and doing just a snippet of a couple of his biggest hits, you know. make them say,
No, then you would have had to bring out Silk the Shocker, and y'all know that ain't
Shopping with Silk the Shocker. Good morning, Farrah. Now he says I didn't find joking or hinting to him like in Miners funny. It's kind of weird, but that's just rap beef. I mean, Tupac literally told Biggie that he slept with his wife.
Right. And he said,
then I'll kill him.
Blank everything. And the whole song, the title of Ice Cube's No Vaseline.
No Vaseline was the most lethal diss of all time as far as disrespecting somebody. Like, so that's just what it is. A lot of reactions coming in. I can't even get to all of them. My mama love Bobby. Yeah, shouts out Farrah. He said you go to Atlanta every time you need a check. Okay, so that's
and you see he had the script A on his.
Said, calling Drake a colonizer was the new knockout blow. So is that the end thing now that nobody likes Drake anymore? Did I miss that?
I mean, I still like Drake. Like I said, I listened to Drake last night because it came in the shuffle of my songs. I'm not going to not listen to a song that I think is good. Now, I can be honest. Y'all know I love Nas. I don't really mess with Jay-Z like that until when he came out with Big Pimpin' Why, because them Kangs was on that.
Yeah, she loved them Kangs.
I love them Kangs, man.
Running the dozens is in our DNA. Folks need to toughen up. It reminded me of, of the second floor lockers at Pearl Cone with Big Jody and Timbo and them. Like, that would grow you up real quick.
Shouts out to Timbo and Big Jody.
Big Frida would have been a fifth message.
Yes, he should have had Big Frida on there. Thank you, Farrah.
Yeah, I agree with that because that would have been a nice mesh there. Martrice agrees with you, AP. She says that's the entire problem. People are too soft. No, we still love Drake. He's just a BI for trying to tell the laws. Okay. All right. See, this is a very, I don't want to say divisive, but everybody has a right. Them Kangs, baby. Now, Melanie's checking in. She says, I must admit it initially went over my head, trying to connect Samuel L. Jackson in all of it. Then I realized it wasn't so much for the performance, but it was for making a statement. And go ahead, Tasha.
That's what I was going to say, because I was at a party. I didn't get it until I was able to come home and watch it. And I said, wait. And then as you go on, well, I'm still going to call it Twitter. You go on Twitter and you start reading things. And Sasha had put some things up as well to go on Instagram, and I start seeing, and I was like, let me go back and watch it again, because I had to pull out some of the stuff that Samuel L. Jackson was saying. I said, I get it. Right. I said, I fully get him being there now. And
the symbolism of how some of the older generations tell us how to go along, to get along, to make sure that we can still provide for our families. Doesn't make them villains. It was a different time back then, and they didn't have the same type of political power.
Right.
But the thing is, really, though, they did more with less. So shouts out to that generation, because we got all of this platform. Now, I'm going to tell all y'all Kendrick fans this. To keep
all we doing is twerking and posing nude photos and photoshopping and everything else on Instagram.
I'm gonna call all of the people out who have been beating people up on social media all week about message, and the time is now. I want y'all to keep that same energy in them primaries in 2026.
No, we need to keep that same energy in these local elections too, when it's time to vote for your senators and your Congress.
Right. Don't just be arguing on social media. If you're really that passionate about this to the point to where you're ready to fight somebody on social media, I need you to fight your ass to them polls. I need you to put action in it. If it was a call to action, I want to see some action. And we're gonna put a nice little bow on it with this. Whenever I get into it, folks, I'll start with F you and the click you claim.
Come on, Tupac. Take money.
That was so lethal. He had to die for that. Like, somebody killed him over that. Like, and all jokes aside, it don't get no more lethal than that. So, like, back to AP's point, toughen up, y'all. It's a rap beef. It's a rap beef. That's what we do. Samuel L. Jackson was awesome. He's one of our favorite artists. Yeah, we need that local and that midterms. Yes, Melanie clapping, AP clapping. So, yes, I want y'all to keep that same energy. If you didn't vote, shut the hell up about a Kendrick Lamar. And we'll move on to some football.
This is CJ, guys. This is why Big Boy was barking. My neighbors were bringing their dog over. So they just opened up the gate and put him in. And he was outside. I was like, who's in my backyard?
CJ getting love on the show. Farrah said, poor Drake, a search and rescue now. I think they'll find him over in Australia. I think that's where he's performing now. All right. So, good conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to get Tasha's thoughts on that, and you all provided some great points. Thank you for that. But let's go to on the field. Jalen Hurts silenced his critics by winning the Most Valuable Player award last Sunday. This is the second Super Bowl in a row when he's outplayed the quote-unquote GOAT in Patrick Mahomes. But does this quad his critics to the point to where they give him his respect as a top 5 quarterback? Now, Tasha, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I certainly don't want to speak for you on this, but I believe that the top 4 quarterbacks heading into 2025 are solidified. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
I'm going, and I said this before the Super Bowl. I said if Jalen Hurts wins that ring, it's kiss my ass. I don't care what y'all say.
Right.
But with that order you're giving, of course, I'm going to go Mahomes. I'm going to go Lamar. And I'm going to put Jalen in at third over over Burrow and Josh Allen.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a ring counter, but in this instance, you look at, and everyone kept pointing this out, look at all the quarterbacks that were drafted before him.
Right.
Where are they?
Right. And to your point, the two people gobbling up all the damn MVPs and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, they can't beat Mahomes. Hurts was on his ass twice. It wasn't Hurts' fault that they lost 2 years ago against against the Chiefs. His defense kind of let him down in overtime.
Right.
And he outplayed Mahomes in that Super Bowl.
And you saw what the Eagles did. They came back. They said, "Yeah, we know what lost us this game, and we gonna do something about it."
Yes.
No, Farrah, we told him because he's the only one that picked Kansas City on this panel.
I did. And I stand 10 toes down on that. I had no idea that their offensive line had taken money, that they out here point shaving.
No, the reps finally said, y'all, they done caught on to us.
No. I'm not even going to give the refs any shine on this because that was such a beatdown that the refs couldn't have saved them if they wanted to. They could have tried to bail. I mean, that was that's
when I saw Jalen Carter mug him in the face and that didn't get a flag, I said, oh, yeah. There you go with your Netflix Wi-Fi again.
No, I don't know if that's me, y'all. I mean, but we'll see. Sorry about that. All right. So you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you have Jalen Hurts at number 3.
You know, because I just love Lamar. But if Lamar don't get it done this year, dog, I don't know.
He drops out of your top 5?
He'll never probably be out of my top 5 because at this point in his career, he's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. You got guys with rings, Eli Manning, who are not first ballot Hall of Famers.
Right.
So to your point. Probably of this generation, Lamar would have to do a major nosedive to be out of my top 5.
I agree with that. And now, sticking with the theme of football, there was a break in development that should have gotten a lot more attention, but it was pretty much swallowed up by the Super Bowl rollout. Myles Garrett has told the Cleveland Browns he wants out, and I don't think any of us disagree with his request to be traded from Cleveland. Nobody will blame him for that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Ian Rappaport, who's an NFL insider for the NFL Network, reported that there were internal discussions going on at Cowboys headquarters about potentially trading Micah Parsons. Now, while we all agree that Myles Garrett should want the hell out of Cleveland, should Dallas really entertain trading Micah Parsons?
That's kind of a toss-up to me when it comes to them. The only thing is Micah has a looser lip than you don't hear Myles Garrett name in anything. Only time you heard about him was when he knocked Mason Rudolph upside the head that time. That's other than that, when have you ever heard Myles Garrett say anything? And the show that I was a guest on, they were talking about the commercial he did when he was on the girl's shoulders. Didn't see that. I had to Google it while I was on the show. You don't hear anything from Myles Garrett. But right. Micah has the podcast. He has he's always talking. And that could rub some people wrong in Dallas, especially somebody like Jerry Jones, who is a talker and wants to be the only talker.
Right. And he pushes back against the messaging that's coming from the organization at times. Only KC that showed up was KC.
Oh, yeah.
Shouts out to Jodeci for being the only group in the history of music to stand in the middle of a desert with leather suits on and leather hats.
And I said, what did that girl do? It's been an hour and you already in the desert begging? What was y'all doing?
What's going on? Now, hey, this guy here's from Dallas. He says Dallas needs to scrub the whole team from the water boy to the coach and build it back up from scratch. We've seen Detroit do that, and they're in a position to make a run. Tasha, do you agree with that?
But
get them out of here.
But you also had what in Detroit? You had a little bit of ownership change when the elder Ford, when she did she pass? I think she passed.
Yes.
You had some new blood in there.
And that's not happening in Dallas.
It starts at the top. Dallas will never be great until Jerry stops being Jerry.
I disagree with that. I think that Jerry. Good morning, Ms. Hastings. I think that it's not so much Jerry. Well, it is Jerry because he's hiring the coaches. I do think that they need a coach that could augment the locker room as a buffer between.
You're talking about the second tier, literally the third tier. You got owners, then you got the GMs, then you got the coach. You're talking about a third tier. You still skipping the top. All of that starts at the top and dwindles down.
Jerry needs to go into the pasture. Jerry's going to be 237 years old. He's going to outlive all of us. Jerry will be here after the apocalypse, coaching the Cowboys, talking about we them boys. So, and Jerry is the general manager and president of football operations along with his son. So, that's not going to change. He does bring talent in, which brings us back to Micah Parsons.
Again, what have they done in the last 30 years with all the talent that they've amassed?
But whose fault is that, though? Is that solely? I mean, if he's bringing in if you're buying good groceries and the food is nasty, who's to cook?
And what did I tell you? Everybody, y'all all talking about Mike Tomlin need to lose his job. When do you hold the player accountable as well? Remember, that defense lost them that game against Green Bay, and no one's going to tell me any different. Everybody wants to give all the slander to Dak. Dak can't play defense and throw the ball.
They gave up 48 points, and they were down 21 to nothing before Dak even had his hamstrings loosened up. To your point on that, I totally agree with you there. But how can we give Mike Tomlin a pass saying that the player should be held accountable, but then not give Jerry a pass saying that the player should be held accountable?
But Jerry ain't the damn coach.
Right. We got a new coach now, baby. We rolling. We Super Bowl ready. The Shanahan, not the Shanahans. We got the Schembecklers. What the hell is his name?
You were right. Shanahan. You said the Schembeckler. Shouts out to the late, great Bo Schembechler.
Dallas will lose until our Heavenly Father calls him home. I don't agree with that, Farrah. Come on now, Paul. Gerald and T. Scissors Force need to sat down. Come on, y'all. He's the greatest owner in the history of the league.
No, I could get down with Mark Davis any day.
I think that's hyperbole.
Mark Davis was like, just win, baby. He didn't care.
Jackson, why are you saying that VHS tapes was popping when Dallas was America's team? Go back and watch those parades on YouTube. The screen is crackling, like how those VCR screens used to crackle. Shouts out to Dallas. Speaking of what's happening, Langston. Langston agrees that Jerry Jones isn't the problem, that Dallas will win a Super Bowl in the next 3 or 4 years. Jerry Jones creates a bad culture. So you're saying that Micah is the product of Jerry Jones' culture.
I mean, I'm all for players having their opinion and saying what they need to say and what they want to say. But sometimes, dude, you just got to shut up and play. Not shut up and dribble like they was, like old Gal was saying.
I was about to ask you that.
I mean, when it comes to if you're not doing your job, that's what I mean when I say shut up and play. If you ain't out there balling, you don't have the right to criticize anything else.
He does disappear in big moments. He has a little Tony Romo in his DNA. I'm just saying, when he's on, he's spectacular. Yes. But when they needed him in the biggest moments, Aaron Jones is not a top 5 running back when he was with Green Bay. He ran through them looking like Barry Sanders in 95. Michael, that's on you, bro. If you're the leader of the defense and y'all getting boat raced by a rookie quarterback and Jordan Love, who hadn't even had 16 starts under his belt, You got to hold that L. Dak threw for 400-something yards that game, even though he's not off the hook either, because you got to come up in the big games. You got a little Tony Romo in you as well. I told y'all, real Cowboy fans know Jerry ain't gonna die. He's a clone.
Who cloned Tyrone?
He's never gonna die. When you have a company where they have a horrible turnover rate, eventually you have to look at management to see what's going on.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a great point. So let's move this conversation forward. Tasha, you're a 49er fan. Let's say you have interest in fortifying your defensive line, which you do. Who would you rather have for the next 5 years if you were going to invest in the trade? Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett.
Wow, not even a thought, huh?
I mean, and I'm down with 11 from heaven. I am, but I just, like I said, Myles Garrett, you don't hear a peep out of him. He goes to work with his lunch pail, does the job, does what he's supposed to do, and then he's out.
There has to be something to be said for a player that has double-digit sacks in 7 of his first 8 seasons. And you're playing on a team that has been devoid of offensive firepower. So it's not like you're getting to play with a lead like Philadelphia did last Sunday and you can just tee off on the quarterback. He's in games where they're probably behind and he's still getting double-digit sacks. This is a good one. There's a 4-year age gap between the two. So I would probably lean. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go Myles Garrett as well. I would if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I would get on the phone with Cleveland and say, hey, can we do a player-for-player swap like Luka and AD? We'll send you Micah Parsons. We'll take Myles Garrett and just call it a wash. And y'all can have him, re-sign him for the next 5 years. We'll take Garrett and have a win now mentality, kind of like how Dallas did that trade. And Melody Tyler said, and he's a.
Dice, gracias, Senora Melanie.
Farrell says, Cowboys are like the old NWA wrestling. It was good when WWE took over and made it better. Jimmy Cornette had to say, I love your wrestling takes. I'm a wrestling fan.
Not Jimmy Cornette, though.
Right. Remember with the tennis racket? So good stuff. Jarrell checking in. If you get Micah out of Dallas, he will thrive and be the great. I don't know. Look, Jarrell, hold on. Before you go into that, Tasha, Jarrell, don't be slick. You want him out of Dallas, right? Because the second he leaves Dallas, he'll wind up on the Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry, the Commanders, and now y'all off and running. That'll be the missing piece to get y'all over the hump. Don't be slick. You don't weaken us to strengthen yourself. We down bad here in the Big D. We down bad. Go ahead, Tasha.
And this is from a 49er fan. It's something about players who want to wear that star on their helmet.
Mm-hmm.
They love that limelight too. Some of them shine in it, and some of them, pull a Homer Simpson and go into the bushes. I think if he stays in Dallas, the name is going to be bigger because he's Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, or Dallas Cowboys Micah Parsons.
Right.
But to Jarrell's point, he could go somewhere that is ready to get over that hump without all the shenanigans and the antics.
Like a 49ers, actually. I mean, and Dallas would never trade him to the 49ers.
Oh, they would never. Hell, we gave y'all Dion. We gave y'all Haley. I mean, come on.
That is true. Y'all handed us a 3 Super Bowls out of 4 years with that move. And then you didn't re-sign Dion and let us get him in 95. Y'all was on some stuff back in the 90s. Make his mama proud. I totally agree with Tasha on this. If Micah Parsons is thinking brand, then he need to go up to Jerry's office and say, hey, what do I need to do to re-sign here? Because nobody gives a damn about what you have to say on your podcast if you with the Cleveland Browns, who's going to be the worst team in the league.
Exactly. No one's watching that.
We don't give a damn. We want to hear you push back on the latest ugly loss that your team had in embarrassing fashion. Just like Tasha said not even a long time ago, a couple of months ago, are people tuning in to watch the Cowboys, or are they tuning into the shit show? You got a shit show crowd right now, Michael.
Oh, it's really a shit show because you actually said shit.
I know, right? I did.
Y'all, he cussing. That means he gonna start slowly letting me cuss more.
I did. Look, hey, I told Mike that once he takes his summer break, we going substitute teacher style here. Is it to be the point that we question whether Dallas has a professional team? The way that organization is ran compared to the successful organizations definitely seems Bush league. Y'all were just 12-3. Now I'm saying y'all was just 12-5 3 years in a row prior to last season when Dak got hurt. I mean, come on now. You got to be in it to win it. Where's this smoke for Buffalo? They haven't gotten over the hump in perpetuity.
I was watching. Oh my God, I was watching something and somebody was saying, why don't they give? What's the Buffalo's coach?
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott and Harbaugh the same. You haven't done anything. I mean, Harbaugh has done things, but Josh McDermott, dude.
You're making it the 8 Falls of Buffalo. For anybody who saw that 30 for 30 on ESPN, the 4 Falls of Buffalo chronicling the 4 Super Bowl losses in a row, you're just adding to the pain. Right. You lost several games that you had within your clutches, including this last year when Dalton Kincaid can't make a routine catch that puts you in field goal range. I mean, you're the Buffalo Bills. So yes, I do think that the Cowboys are unfairly criticized in that regard. Now, to Langston's point, we all came up in the era together when we were young football fans, and Dallas was that team. And they fizzled out. They did like the Bears. Like the Bears had the 85 team, 86 team went 14-2. They lose McMahon to an injury. They don't win. They ship McMahon off, and we haven't heard a peep out of them since. They don't get this kind of smoke because you're America's team. Now, Tasha, speaking of smoke, a story that probably is going to make your heart sing and heart smile. Look at those beautiful teeth. Look at that smile, ladies and gentlemen. I think she'll keep this smile going with our next topic.
All I heard was smoke, and y'all know.
Oh, snap. Yeah, right. Jets new head coach, Aaron Glenn, my brother. He walked into that Jets facility and said, look here, Aaron. Look here, bro. Your services are no longer needed.
And blue.
He said, we got 3 acts. We don't need 4. Now, one of you got to go. Aaron, get your shit and get out of here.
In the words of the late, great Wilbur Smith, get your least famous recipe and get out of here.
Scram, skedaddle. So, the Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers, making it one of the worst offseason moves in recent history. Okay. Now, my question to you, Tasha, hang in there or have a seat, Aaron Rodgers? Is this it? Is this the end?
I've been wanting that clown gone. Ever since he was, again, people lie about the stupidest stuff. It's no need to lie. If you didn't get the jab, just say you didn't get it. Just simple as that. Then you want to do all this play on words and this, that, and the other thing. And here I was having sympathy for Aaron Rodgers. I can't believe I called him by his name, Lyron Rodgers, on draft day when he was sitting in there with that kingpin from the Spider-Man suit on in the green room because nobody wanted to play with him.
Yes.
Felt bad for the kid then. Was rooting for him. Of course, y'all know I hate Tom Brady. Was definitely rooting for them to beat Tampa Bay that year. But what did he do? He pulled an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He wants to be the bigger story. He needs to sit down. My opinion. But there is a team out there that would use his services or could use his services. But you got to go to a team that's weak. Because you go to one of these strong coaches, one of these strong owners, they're not going to let you do that.
No. Aaron Glenn just proved that. He hadn't coached one game.
But this is what I was going to say. Is it because Johnson was scared he started saying stuff towards the end of the season, but it's too late. You got him. You don't want to send your private plane to go pick him up and do all of this. Is it now he want to use the brother man to be the mouthpiece? Because he know the brother man going to be like, bro.
You mean like the Mavericks ownership is doing Nico Harrison right now here down the road in downtown Dallas? Could very well be. However, they did report that Aaron Glenn was adamant about some stipulations upon his return, Aaron Rodgers' return. One, you're going to have to come to mandatory minicamp. No going off to Egypt or Nairobi or wherever the hell you went.
And Shannon Sharp had this point. He was like, you an NFL player. You know when all the camps are. You know when you're supposed to be there, what time you're supposed to be there. So why would you schedule a trip when you see Johnson allowed that? He allowed that.
And so did your boy who's back in San Francisco now. As the DC.
Shit with the S. Robert Saleh.
Right, and he allowed it as well. Like it was a carte blanche type treatment.
But the thing is, with Robert Saleh, I don't think Robert Saleh wanted it, but the ownership was like, "Hey, he's coming off this injury. We're gonna let him have his time because he's gonna ball out." I don't think Robert Saleh wanted that. But what do you say?
Right, he didn't have the backbone. Aaron Glenn was like, "No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that." And kudos to him for that. He also told him there's no more weekly Pat McAfee shows. He says Rodgers will be the Vikings QB following Brett Favre's path.
Think about that. Is he gonna commit welfare fraud too?
Is he gonna show his junk to the cheerleaders?
I'm just asking. These are valid questions.
That is a valid question, Tasha. I don't know if Minnesota would be the spot, although they have quarterback questions. Are they going to re-sign your boy who did well this year, or are they going to go with J.J. McCarthy, who's coming off an injury and hadn't really played a regular season game? I'm thinking as far as Rodgers, where he could have the cachet to go and maybe compete for a start job. Tennessee Titans, when you talk about ownership not being strong and the front office not being strong, that's definitely a place. Plus, he lives in Nashville. The New Orleans Saints have a bunch of upheaval with a new coach. He might be able to do that. Maybe a stopgap with the Raiders, who may just want to just sell some tickets because they're in Vegas. And I think that they would cave and let him do all of the stuff that he wants to do. You can skip minicamp. You can go ahead and do your Pat McAfee. We need to sell some damn seats. This place is empty. There's more people at the Usher concert than these damn games. So I don't think he's going to retire. I think that somebody will be foolish enough to get him. Doesn't Aaron need to retire? He's too old. Yes, he does need to. But the question is, will he? Because this is an embarrassing end. When the Jets tell you, no, thank you, you down bad.
Yeah, you really down bad.
You down bad if the Jets don't.
Jets out of all teams should be like, hey.
You down bad. Right. You down bad if the Jets don't want you. I don't think his pride would allow him to retire. I think he'll give it one more bite at the apple on a 1-year deal somewhere. Maybe a Tennessee, maybe a New Orleans, maybe one of these bag of bone teams that have a rookie quarterback that's going to be coming in to where he can be a 1-year mentor, which he will not mentor them.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want? I think I said to someone too. He's like a Blythe. You guys know what a Blythe is on a potato?
Educators.
It will basically destroy the entire crop when you have a Blythe on there. Nice. And that's what he is.
Nice.
Because I don't like to bring cancer up because I don't like cancer.
Right. We don't play that C word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blythe, that was an excellent point there. Yeah, all right. Tasha, her engine is revved up and warmed up. Now we're ready to hit the tollway. I would hope that the Tennessee Titans aren't foolish enough to bring him in because, to Tasha's point, and if you want to elaborate on that, feel free to take the baton and do so. I don't want him getting in the ear or giving my rookie quarterback bad habits.
Right.
Or doing another Chris Chandler to Steve McNair in '95 when he was drafted by the Houston Oilers, and he went out of his way to basically derail his career instead of help mentor him. So we don't want that type of situation because it'll be Cam Ward.
You can't keep a job forever. And it's like, why is it so hard for these quarterbacks who have amassed the money, you have amassed the fame?
Yes.
Why is it so hard for y'all to let go when you know you're in yourself that you're not being effective?
It has to be ego or just the competitive juices, because whether you love Aaron Rodgers or hate Aaron Rodgers, he can do his own singular platform post-retirement and do numbers that would rival any other person there. I mean, he's a pick-a-side athlete. If you love him or you hate him, people will tune in.
Like you can say, to a certain extent, Tom Brady should have retired. Tom Brady really didn't win that last Super Bowl. We know that.
Whoa. He what? What now?
He didn't. I mean, we know that defense won that Super Bowl with that last one in Tampa. Don't go there. Don't go there. But Tom Brady was not out there. I mean, he was looking a little slow and decrepit. But one thing, like I said, Tom doesn't open his mouth.
No, he has a LeBron James type of team around him to where everything that comes out of his mouth, Beyonce is another one, and Jay-Z, that everything is carefully crafted and forward thinking months down the road. They will never just put you'll never put a microphone in front of Tom Brady and just ask him something off the cuff and get a raw, real reaction.
If he ain't made any type of reaction because his ex-wife done had a baby by the man she was having an affair with that he hired, he ain't gonna say nothing. The man was sitting commentating with almost $1 million watch on his wrist. I think everything that man does is calculated, and it's calculated to perfection.
To perfection. Now, Farrah, that's a great counterpoint. They love the game, and I don't have a problem with that. She said, unlike the NBA. Speaking of NBA, great segue, Farrah. High five to you. Now, y'all know that it's time for the weekly installment of Tasha T. Sizzle's Top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we got an NBA theme today. We're gonna give kudos and accolades to old crop top, old chewed up top.
First
one, Mr. Kevin Durant. Mr. Before I let go.
We're not finna do this.
That's disrespectful. I won't. Let me rewind that. All right. Kevin Durant on Tuesday became the 9th player in NBA history to amass 30,000 points, a remarkable feat, and he was giving my Grizzlies buckets that night too. John Morant, you had to give him that game ball because he was giving you buckets. Phoenix did not win the game, but Kevin Durant was spectacular, and I was rooting for him to get it since I stayed up late to watch that game. So we all know Kevin Durant is one of they call him easy money sniper because he's one of the most lethal pure shooters in the history of the NBA. Does he make T-Sizzle's top 5 NBA pure shooters of all time? Tasha, the floor is yours.
Well, I didn't put him on the list.
Whoa!
No, not because I didn't. I thought you meant besides him.
Okay, but no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
He's yeah. I mean, that's one of the the flack that he gets when all he wants to do is play ball. He is a pure shooter. That's all he wants to do is play ball. So I kind of did because there was a few people that I know some of us forgot. The late great Peja Stojakovic.
Yes.
Pure shooter. Yeah, Peja. Oh no, I'm thinking about what's his name? I'm sorry.
You think about the guy from New Jersey.
Yeah, look at me out here putting people in the grave, y'all.
I was like, what?
And then we got old J. Jonah Jameson himself, Chris Mullins. If you know, he used to have a high top fade.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there coaching in one of the All-Star games. And before I get into the depth of the list, you really got to put Steve Kerr in there.
Yeah.
On the outside looking in, you put Steve Kerr. But my list goes as follows. You got to have Steve Nash.
Okay.
Come on, Larry Joe Bird.
I was ready to say, if he ain't on your list, I'm logging you out.
Work with me, Larry Joe. And then, you got your typical 3. You got your Reggie Miller.
Yes.
You got your Ray Allen.
Yes.
And you got your one Wardell Stephen Curry.
You're cooking with this one. I like the Steve Kerr angle with that because without him, that second three-peat is not as lethal because he made it to where you could not triple team Michael Jordan.
Right.
And Michael Jordan had a mass double teaming. You couldn't even double team Mike. You had to triple team, and he was like, Kerr, go win this championship. I got you, player. Swish. Great list. I totally agree. He says that his accomplishments will never catch up to his ego. Aaron Rodgers, you agree with that?
I mean, yeah. It's
a lot of accomplishments, though. 4 MVPs.
I mean, 4 MVPs. He living off of that one Super Bowl, which that's he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You cannot take his accolades, but it's like sometimes you do so much extra shit. It makes people not like you or make people not root for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now look who showed his face today. I will give you props. Cough, cough. We be back, Justin.
Yeah.
There you go, bro. This is the one where you got to rock. We cyber hug, bro. But you know what? I'm gonna give you all your. Okay, Grinch. Justin, I'm gonna give you all your props for showing your face today. You could have.
You didn't have to do it.
Right. So to Justin, you get respect from us because you came in here and you was like, "Hey, we lost, but we'll be back." Respect on that. Tasha, there's something he may have missed. You want to say about the Chiefs? You want to address him while he's sitting here listening?
No, he already down. I ain't gonna.
I love that out of you, Tasha. Tasha, who are you shouting out this week? And good morning,
guys,
Justin.
I'm shouting out a group of guys who invited me on their show. I was like a special guest on a podcast,
What little though? What
Our
little?
good brother Jarrell Glenn, who is Soul on Sports,
Yes.
is on this show. It's called Against the Grain, and they're another podcast. We all got to support each other. Yeah,
Right.
it's nice to look at the popular ones, but we all got to support each other. So let me shout out Jody. I'm gonna shout out Ray, our good brother Jarrell, and another guy named Mike. So I'm shouting out those guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest on your show. Farrah said she had watched the show because y'all, they let me cuss and I can say whatever I want to say.
Mm-hmm. That's an after dark show. That's a prime time show, and we're Saturday morning.
We Saturday morning. So shouts out to my guys on Against the Grain. Thank you. And they will send me the link, but y'all know your girl be going to bed because there's no daylight savings here. So anytime you guys send the link, if I'm up and I see it, I will join on. So thank you for the invite. Right.
And Jarrell, you've always shown love and supported. So make sure that whenever you can, man, jump on here. Like, we can do a Against the Grain takeover. Come on over and expose yourself to some new audience and run the followers up. Like I said, we're one big community. Now they let her cuss Paul. Let me flip that around. I have the utmost confidence in Tasha's ability to articulate beyond cussing. So
cussing just
it does, but we're a different show, and it takes all to make it go round. And as I recall, Farrah, your cussing count is pretty low too on our tape. You and TT ain't really just saying.
Yeah, y'all don't be cussing on there too much. Shout out to TT.
Right. Right. She says, that was loaded, Paul. That wasn't loaded. I'm just saying.
Like a potato with sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives.
Right. I'm just saying on the extra point we do it Saturday morning, 9 a.m. A lot of you people are carrying your kids to basketball games, football games. A lot of you all have your kids around, and we want to make sure that it's kid friendly, and that's our brand. Against the Grain is a nighttime show for adults, and I'm glad that Tasha gets the ability to go and do that as well. Make sure you all follow her there or follow Against the Grain when she's on. I'm sure she will like and share. I'm very proud of her, and you can hear the raw, uncut version of her. There's always two versions of an album: a radio edit and the album edit. This is radio edit, Tasha. So we're very, very proud of her. And right, you don't be cussing either. Tasha, any more shout outs?
Guys, I need to shout out. It's like I'm shouting these people out at least once or twice a month. My vet over at Cuatro Patas, it means four paws. Dr. Carla, guys, I have a new addition to the family, and his name is Pollux Troy. And for those of you who don't know, that's Dr. Carla. That's Dr. Carla, and that's Alicia. One of my favorite movies is Face Off. The cat that I had to put to sleep, my sweet Castor, he was Castor Troy. This is Pollux Troy.
Nice. Welcome to the family. Welcome.
He's a little upset because they had to draw blood to test him. He did, and guys, he tested negative for everything. He had a small infection. He was actually ran over by a four-wheeler. So a lady had him and nursed him, but she lives in Brussels, and she is going back to her country in April. So she needed someone to take the cat because when she tried to put him back on the street, he was so scared that he never came out of the sewer. So now he is here with me again, guys. You see, I got two dogs. I got CJ over here, big boys right here. Silk there, female, mama there, P there. I am not a cat person, but I have love for animals in general. And I couldn't see this cat be put back out on the street, already terrified. He's angry. He had to get blood drawn, and he had to get a shot for his little virus. And he cost his mommy over $100 today, but it's okay. It's okay. All is good. I do think about Castor every day. Castor was 10 months old. He had leukemia, feline leukemia. It's tricky. It could kill a cat in 6 months, or a cat could live for 20 years with it. And my poor little Castor just couldn't fight anymore. So he's negative for leukemia. So let's hope he's 2 years old. So let's hope baby, lasts a little bit longer.
Yes, and sending all of our love to you because I know that that's something that you're very passionate about, all jokes aside. So happy to see your house being filled up with love once again as you get a picture of the newest member of the T-Sizzle family. Speaking of family, I want to give a huge shout out to a culture boy close to my heart, my nephew Kenny. Happy birthday, Kenny. We love you. We hope you have a great, great, great day. This is going to be an amazing year for you, Kenny. You're going to see the power of God work through you and in you. Your test will turn into a testimony. I know we had church last week, but I had to get that part out there. We're going to speak peace. We're going to speak life over him. And I want you to enjoy your birthday. Give yourself permission these 24 hours to just enjoy seeing another trip around the sun. Every year is a blessing. I love you, Kenny. Happy birthday. Tasha, take us on home.
Vamos Azul.
Go Blue. We'll see you next week. Peace. Make sure y'all catch on Against the Grain. Peace.